Good morning. I'm John Feldt, and this is the Blue Water Outlook hydrometeorological briefing. This briefing discusses the hydrologic or hydrometeorological impacts of Isaac. This is a satellite picture from yesterday from NASA, and you can see it's a very well organized system. It intensified a bit as it moved inland as a Category 1, but we had a very symmetrical, well organized looking system, very large system as it moved inland. This is a satellite picture from early this morning, and you can see some of the bumpiness is just pushed into the northern part of the Gulf region here into southern Louisiana and Mississippi. But there's a very broad, large area still to come. So this area is moving up into the region. It's going to be raining throughout the day, still a lot to go. Now, precipitable water is something I show from time to time. This is how much moisture is in the total atmospheric column, or how much it can hold. And when you get these areas in red, that's pretty much saying the atmosphere is packed with moisture. It's just potential moisture to be formed as rainfall. And Isaac's going to do that. So we have all this tropical moisture there, and it's going to be a real rain-producing system, not just where it's raining now, but well to the north. Now, the path of Isaac continues off to the northwest, eventually to the north, and then to the northeast. The speed has slowed quite a bit, and it will continue very slow today and tomorrow. Eventually, by later this week, it's expected to pick up speed. But like I've been mentioning for a number of days, a slow speed of a tropical system always means significant flooding. Now, the past 24-hour rainfall, heaviest amounts have been centered around New Orleans, the coastal parts of Louisiana, up towards Gulfport, Mississippi. 6 to 12 inches of rain, and I'm sure this is going to double easily before this event's over. Keep in mind, we're just at the early part of it. We have days more. So I mentioned a couple days ago of a point value of around 30. I'm going to stick with that. It's not going to be widespread, but anywhere from a foot or two widespread. But I think there are going to be extreme rainfall amounts with Isaac. Here's the rainfall forecast. The Hydrometeorological Prediction Center brings the axis of rain up to the northwest and then eventually curves it around along and just to the east of the path of the actual circulation center, nearing a foot of rain or more along the immediate coast, and then gradually decreasing that to 5 to 6 inches of rain. Now keep in mind, I showed that precipitable water, and when a system moves in a tropical system, it transports tropical moisture well inland. And when it does that, you're going to see rainfall rates much heavier than usual well into Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. So keep that in mind, that this efficient tropical rainfall is going to be moving into that region. So what to expect today? Well, this is a short-term model for late today. It's showing that most of the precipitation with Isaac has remained very close to the core. It's been showing this for a number of days now, that the heaviest rain is expected to remain in Louisiana and southern parts of Mississippi, maybe a small part of southwest Alabama. Scattered precipitation in that tropical moisture with the daytime heating over parts of Alabama and Georgia, but I don't see too many signs of organized inflow that would cause more significant or widespread rain. Now, perhaps right in this region here, perhaps in here, there could be one that sets up, and if it does, it could produce some heavy rain, but the models are not indicating that there'd be an organized band, outer band, or streaming inflow with this system today. Now, the Weather Service has a number of hydrology watches and warnings in effect ahead of the system. The areas in green are those flash flood watches, so that is over the next couple days the area that could receive flash flooding. So keep in mind, if you're in that area, that heavy rain will be developing over the next couple days. I oftentimes look at flash flood guidance as sort of gives me an idea of how much rain before you start getting the more significant problems. And most of the area, because it's been somewhat dry, actually very dry over parts of the Midwest, is at least 3.5 inches of rain before you get some problems. And remember that rainfall forecast was about 5 inches or so. So most of that rain is going to soak in before you have a problem. Now, St. Louis area, see it's green. They've had some recent rainfall, and there might be a little bit more vulnerability in that region. Now, I don't want to downplay it. I think there are going to be some hydrologic impacts as it moves in, but the system will be moving quicker, and it will be moving over drier ground, and that will mitigate the impacts and have them more scattered in nature, much more scattered than what is expected to occur along Louisiana and parts of Mississippi. So far, these are the river forecasts by the Weather Service. orange and red is the significant river flooding. I think that'll be expanded up towards the northwest in some spots here and there over the next couple days. But at least for the next 3 to 4 days, it looks like it's going to hug the the Mississippi and Louisiana region, eventually probably scattered up into the northwest up towards Arkansas. Now, finally, I've mentioned many times the role of tropical systems as a beneficial rainfall. This is the current U.S. drought monitor, and this is the track of the heaviest rain. And you can see as it moves up into the northern part of Arkansas and Missouri, it's moving right into a core of an area that's been in a persistent drought. And in many ways, this region needs this rain and welcomes it as much as there is that threat of scattered flooding here and there. In many ways, it's going to act like a giant sponge and soak up that rainfall. But it's not that simple. There are going to be some hydro impacts, and I don't want to downplay that. But there's definitely going to be a beneficial role for that rainfall as it moves into that area. So the bottom line, the area in red, tremendous rainfall for the next couple days. Widespread pooling of water. I think the pooling of water is going to cause just as much problem as anything else. Water is going to be over roads. It's going to just inundate this very lowland area. There'll be significant urban flooding in areas, metro areas in that region, and then the potential for flash flooding. As we expand that a little bit, the area in red, again, flash flood potential, urban flooding, pooling of water, and the possibility of main stem flooding. Then as we get up towards further to the north, as we get late this week into the weekend, mainly a welcome rainfall. There still will be a potential for some flash flooding and urban flood impacts, but it's going to be mitigated quite a bit by initially dry ground. Appreciate you attending today's briefing. If you have any questions at all, or I'd like to hear what you think of this, send it to me at info@bluewateroutlook.com. And if you find this interesting, pass it along to your friends. Thank you.